Women of Reddit, what are some things a dad should know about raising a girl? Make sure to teach us boy stuff. 2. I was an only child. And my dad still taught me to drive a tractor, change a tire, hang drywall, and fix things around the house. These skills have come in handy many times in the years since, and especially when I was living alone. Plus, it was great bonding time for me and dad. Edit, loving wild stories. You all have some cool dads. How you treat her and her mom is how she will expect to be treated by her partner when she's older. My dad is awesome and I totally blame him for why I'm still single lol. I've yet to meet a guy who I feel would treat me the same way he treats my mom. Wholesome problem, I guess. I know you probably don't want to hear about what happened with Sarah and Kyle today in pre-algebra or the character breakdown of her latest teen novel, but just listen to her. The moment you dismiss her thoughts and interests is the moment that wall starts going up between. Make an effort to remember some names and details and it'll mean everything to her. Don't laugh at her or get mad when she bursts into tears over something that you perceive as insignificant. Not only is she young and her world is smaller, but if she's above the age of 10 her emotions are running wild. Basically just treat her like her thoughts and feelings are valid. It's so easy to forget about how big your emotions feel when you're young. And the reason that I, as a 26-year-old woman, still talk to my father weekly and greet him with a big hug is that he listened with empathy. Edit, yes. Do this for boys too. I say it specifically in this thread because a lot of fathers don't know how to handle their daughters' emotions and thus dismiss them. Don't be too overprotective. How long can you protect her? One day she'll be on her own and she'll not know how to. Teach her how to be independent instead. To do things on her own. Teach her self-defense. Teach her to be safe. Edit, I'm glad to hear that you'll share similar views. Wish my dad did that, haha. Too late anyway. I'm so happy that all of your daughters would learn to be independent at least. This is a good one. Nobody thinks those angry overprotective dads that threaten boyfriends without any hint of wrongdoing are good people. Usually it's just a cheap excuse to flex for some fat middle-aged asshole with anger issues, probably responsible for more trauma to his wife and kids than anyone else. I was raised by a single dad. When I started my period, he made it clear that my period was not embarrassing. And he would get me whatever I needed to take care of myself. Also, if there's not a mom around, please ask some friends how to manage your daughter's hair. If you do nothing else right, speak kindly. I don't have the best dad. He was always fighting his own demons. And therefore not all that present, but he has literally only ever been kind to me, and that sticks out more than anything. He praises everything we do, compliments us endlessly, and always made us feel like we were obviously capable of anything. It has always been easy to feel his shortcomings really didn't have anything to do with me and were his own personal issues. Please don't be super grossed out if you see a pad or something. Every girl will get a period and most will get it fairly young. Like 10 or 11 or 12. That means that she is still a child and you might just have to go buy her pads. It will really make your daughter sad if she works up the courage to say, "Dad, I think I got my period," and you go, "You gross." She needs someone to talk to when she first gets it, and that someone might be you. Also, some cramps can be so painful. Like vomiting, crying painful. So don't tell your daughter to suck it up. Edit, just in case some people don't know. Women cannot hold periods. It's not like pee. It comes when it wants to and it will not stop. Don't start acting as though she will turn into a raging monster the second she hits puberty. It's a weird expectation to have placed on you. On that note, don't blame everything she feels on her hormones. Don't lose your shit when she starts needing a bra. She has breasts now. So what? A father freaking out or being weird about it will just complicate how she feels even more. If mom can't take her shopping, have her sized. Take her to a store. Get her a fitting room. Done. Don't make her feel weird or bad about needing one. Also, it isn't hard to have her sized. My store won't size you. But they will teach girls how to do so properly and provide you with a room, measuring tape, and advice. When they are teenagers, respect their space as it's a tough time for them, and honestly it's really difficult to talk to your dad about. We have mood swings and you might think we hate you, but we love you dearly. Be there for her when she needs it too. She might even say that she hates you. My daughter said it when she was angry as a teen. Don't take it personally. I simply responded, it's okay. You can feel that way. But I still love you. Anyway. Bad times don't last. We get along beautifully now. Not a woman, but a dad of a girl, front to back, is the most important lesson to learn first. Everything else gets complicated. So start there. If they say they don't want to be touched, they don't want to be touched. This should be done with both genders, but for girls saying they don't want to be touched and then their dad does it anyway really sucks and leads to mixed messages about what your personal boundaries are allowed to be. Edit 1. Thank you for my first silver. Edit 2. Thank you for my first gold. After you wash her hair, if you have to comb it, start at the bottom and work up. Don't start at the top and muscle through the knots. Hell. I'm a guy with long hair and didn't even know this. This would have saved me so much pain. Definitely going to be using this as the future, both on myself, potentially a daughter down the road. Thanks. No matter the gender. If you want your child to be your friend as an adult, treat them with respect as a child. Children are children. They don't understand the world. They will be emotional. Oftentimes, girls can be the extremes of this. But if you belittle her, refuse to understand what she is trying to tell you, and don't respect her interests, you will hear from her maybe once a month after she turns 18. Understanding children is hard. Understanding the opposite gender is hard. But making an effort to learn and listen helps you manage both and be a wonderful, understanding dad. You don't have to agree, but just understand where your child is coming from. Treat her like a fully capable human being. And absolutely don't infantilize her, unless she's an actual infant. Don't grow possessive. No scaring off boyfriend sheet. Unless they absolutely deserve it. Don't shame her for liking girly, superficial things and for masculine things. Teach her how to fight and defend herself. Treat it as normal if she gets a girlfriend. Edit. Oh my ducking goddess Silver. Don't treat her like she's a precious, delicate flower. The world won't, and she will have a hard time learning that when she's older. Same with boys. Don't treat them like they are indestructible. Someday they will want to feel vulnerable and won't think they have a right to do so. Give her money when she goes out. She shouldn't be expecting for someone else to pay for her meal. Definitely. Don't give her 100 every time she asks. Maybe make her work for the money by doing basic chores. Clear the table, dry the dishes, change the load in the laundry, clean dad's car, so she doesn't get spoiled. But give her enough to go out and have fun. Enough to pay for a meal for herself if they go out to eat. A movie ticket if they go to the movies. And enough to give gas money to whoever gave her the ride, assuming it isn't you. Don't think that not giving her money will be enough to stop her from going out. It won't. But without money she will start mooching off other people. And that's something you really don't want. There is nothing wrong or dirty about talking openly about things like periods. Learn about things like this so you can be helpful and informative to her when she needs you. Also, don't be the dad who refuses to buy his daughter pads, tampons because it's weird. Know someone whose dad straight up refused all the time because that's woman stuff or whatever. Don't excuse the behavior of men because they're men. Girls are victimized early. I was groped for the first time at 9 years old. My father not excusing that as boys being boys is why I have always been able to recognize that behavior as unacceptable. But I know so many women whose dads didn't teach them this way. Who just expect that this is how all men will act because they are men. Some have even been raped. But won't report it because maybe they did something to cause it. Teach your girls to demand better. Show her how a man should treat a woman. Be there for her. Listen and learn to do hair. It sounds silly, but you will be her hero for simply doing that. Praise her for her achievements, her character, her efforts, especially when they don't yield the expected results. The world is obsessed about looks. She needs to know she's not just what she looks like. Teach her that politeness is only for people who earn it. She has every right to be rude to a bully or a catcaller. Piss off. Creep is remarkably effective, or to tell a horny date she's not interested as rudely as necessary, rather than giggling awkwardly and hoping he gets the hint. I know women who considered themselves graped and then got a call the next day from the guy wanting to set up another date. Never joke about their weight. My stepdad did this and I still hate myself because I toughed. That's what everyone toughed, even when he apologized later. Keep your promises. I was in 2nd grade. My dad's work schedule changed so he would be off in the afternoons on Mondays. He said we would go to movies on Monday afternoons. Just me and him. Once or twice a month. We never went. I never forgot. She will date and experiment in high school. But as long as she has a gentleman dad, she'll end up making good decisions. Me father died when I was 8 years old. He always hugged me and repeat, be always yourself. Be happy. If you have any problem, wake up early and see the sky. Sunrise gave the inspiration to you to found answers. I thinking every father need to hug a daughter plus have her the comfort of love. She never going to forget that. I am 65 years old and never forget my father hugs plus his love words. Haven't seen anyone say this. And it works for both guys and girls. Don't make your kids finish everything on their plate. If they say they're not hungry, therefore, don't make them keep eating. It creates bad eating habits as an adult. Your child's body knows how much food it needs. My dad inadvertently taught me to hate femininity by saying things like stop throwing like a girl, man up, etc. He truly didn't understand the impact of those phrases and meant nothing sexist by it, but it led me to reject anything remotely feminine for years for no good reason and lead to some self-esteem issues. I cried when I was forced to play softball with the girls instead of baseball with the boys. I dressed in only clothes bought from the boys department for my whole 5th grade year because I was so determined not be feminine for fear of disappointing my dad. Be careful of the words and phrases you use. It has a lot of impact. Not a woman. But this applies to both parents and both kids. Apologize to your kids when you wrong them. You're going to wrong them at some point. Apologizing will show them that they are valuable. And that mature people are humble. And willing to apologize. It's a very clear way of saying I'm not better than you. Be a good listener. Make time to do one-on-one stuff with her. It's important she knows you take interest in her as a person. Sometimes girls get emotional, for what seems like no reason at all. So be supportive when needed. It's okay to show her your softer side. Do not mock her for wanting seconds or a snack. Instead, suggest healthy options and get her involved in sports or other activities like ballet or biking. I was extremely athletic at the time, but my dad used to make pig noises when I went for seconds or wanted a snack. I went down to 90 pounds at 5 feet 4 inches and started losing my hair. I developed a really unhealthy relationship with food. I had to some counseling to stop loathing my need to eat. I don't know if my dad was projecting his body image issues onto me, but I really wish he had been more supportive. When I was doing soccer practice 2 times a week, soccer games on the weekends, 4 days of dance class per week, and horseback riding in my spare time, you would think I could have seconds. For goodness sake. If she writes, do not read her writing unless she offers it to you. It's invasive and can break trust. To be honest, don't lurk around her room at all if you communicate well. She'll have nothing to hide from you. If she is hiding something, it's because she hasn't figured out a way to talk to you about it yet. My dad read my notebooks and then told my entire family about what he'd read, and it made my preteen years very difficult. My family antagonized me about my writing for months. I began to be afraid to express myself completely, and I have crippling social anxiety because of those experiences. Just wait for her to talk to you about things. Don't pry. Don't pry. Don't pry. And don't shut her out if she has questions. Answer her questions maturely and empathetically, and you should be good to go. Of course, this goes for boys as well. Don't force your daughter to interact physically, hug, kiss, or be hugged, kissed, or touched by even your most well-meaning relatives and friends. Kids, especially girls, need to know that it's okay to have physical boundaries and that it's okay to enforce your own even if there isn't a good reason. Teach her about money and finances. This goes for any child. Don't let them leave for college or move out on their own without financial literacy. Don't stick to gender stereotypes when teaching them things. I've learned how to use power tools and build things, and I'm actually a carpenter and I enjoy all of it. Just because they're boy things doesn't mean a girl won't need them in her life, and she may actually enjoy doing them.